Hi everyone, today we are going to go over chemical bonding. Well, first we need to know that why do atoms even combine, right? So in the outermost valence shell of an atom, there are a maximum of 8 electrons, and in order to complete this octet, they have a strong tendency to combine among themselves to acquire the stable electronic configuration of the nearest noble gas. Now that we know why atoms combine, let's go through how they do this. So the atoms can join together by sharing electrons in what is known as a covalent bond, or they can transfer or accept electrons to form positive and negative ions and form an ionic bond. Metals from another kind of bond in sharing electrons is called a metallic bond. And today we will go over ionic compound and covalent compound. Well, first we have the ionic compound in which metals lose electrons and non-metals gain electrons. This is just so that the electrons would attain nearest noble gas configuration, establishing an ionic compound. Let's take chemical bonds between sodium and chlorine as an example. First we have sodium, and we can see sodium is the one that is losing an atom as it is a metal and lending it to chlorine atom so that both of them could complete their octets. Some properties of ionic compounds are that they have high melting and boiling points, soluble at room temperature, conduct current in molten as well as the aqueous state, and they are non-volatile. Moving on to the structure of the ionic compounds, they have giant lattice structure. For example, as we can see in this figure, in a lattice, millions of sodium and chlorine atoms are arranged in an orderly manner. These ions are held together by strong force of electrostatic attraction throughout the entire lattice. Covalent bonding. It exists only between nonmetals, and they share their valence electrons to attain the octet. An example of atoms that bond covalently to form an octet is the formation of a covalent bond between two chlorine atoms to form a molecule of chlorine gas. Each chlorine atom has 7 valence electrons, one of which is unpaired, available for bonding. When two chlorine atoms share their unpaired electrons, a single covalent bond results, and each chlorine atom effectively has an octet of valence electrons. Some properties of covalent bonds. Well, because of their low melting points, many molecular compounds are liquid and gases at room temperature. Solid covalent compounds tend to be soft or brittle because the covalent bonds are relatively easy to break. The shared electrons within the compound limit electron mobility, so the covalent compounds don't conduct heat or electricity as well as the ionic compounds. Here are some differences between